I'm Breezy, here to help you expand perfectly. In these times, less is truly more. A time of less options is a time of more alternatives. With the expansion barriers that we're seeing, it's important to revisit our operations and partnerships to determine what works best for us in this time. While you're serving new markets, repurposing your inventory, and forming new partnerships, it's also important to take a good look at your supply chain and reevaluate what it needs to be successful. Right now, your supply chain may still be fitting the form of the supply chains that were lucrative when things were how they were about a year ago. But ultimately, with today's climate, it's good to evaluate your supply chain at least every 3 months to determine if, with all of these adjustments and changes, is your supply chain sufficient? Should your batches be produced in lower quantities? Should your buffers be reduced? Will it be more affordable to move your inventory somewhere else? Your supply chain is ultimately going to change quite a bit until the trade wars and a lot of the external factors impacting our businesses and the economy adjust, shifts, and settles. Knowing your customers' desires in this case is extremely important. As we speak about the trade war settling, it is important to mention how India has invested billions of dollars into their trade agreement with the United States. So has Argentina. As we start to form these new partnerships, go ahead and start revisiting if there are alternatives to what you usually do in your supply chain with your products and what markets you serve. There's going to be a lot of business coming to the United States because of this new partnership. And we will also be able to form new joint ventures as a result of this new trade agreement. At one point, offshoring was a bit cheaper. However, with the uncertainty of supply chains, it is a good idea to nurture your customers nationally and to solidify your market here in the United States because there is an untapped market that you can service. There is an opportunity for you to offer lower cost options to customers that are affected by the higher prices. We see a lot of companies accept defeat, but that won't be you because we can help you expand perfectly. As we take a look at remodeling our operations, revisiting our product offerings, and restructuring our businesses, it's good to know that there are alternatives to what we're seeing today. Those alternatives can look like new partnerships, restructuring our organization, or repurposing our inventory. It's okay to restructure in response to external changes. There is a supplier somewhere else for you, and decentralizing is okay. For example, agricultural exports are tied up in different countries. They may begin to freeze, can, or dry their fruits and vegetables versus letting them spoil. It's extremely important to be creative in these times because we are seeing alternates as the way and key to survival. Business dissolution is all over the news. Everyone's cutting back and reducing and panicking ultimately. However, there are ways for you to do different things with your inventory and with your labor. In a time where there are so many changes with trade and with taxes, it's important to understand what options you have. For the goods industries or automotive industries, they may decide to remodel their products or they may assemble them elsewhere. We're seeing a lot of cargo get tied up at the moment. So it's important to exercise what options you have available because time is critical in these instances. So, coming up with different packages to where you can still sell what may be delayed or they can be repurposed is extremely important and vital to exercise right now. It's also important to evaluate the finance portion of what is being delayed because You may have projected certain sales and profits in one quarter. However, if there are delays, it's important not to automatically discount those delays as a loss. In this instance, reevaluating the most affordable method is critical for every business. Ultimately, if you're working with a supplier and there continues to be delays, do you have to continue offshoring? It's important to pivot and understand that what may have worked in the past may not work today. However, that doesn't completely mean walk away from your investment. Ultimately, as the trade wars escalate and settle, it's important to go back to the drawing board and often reevaluate what works best for you and your team. With evaluating if your production methods are best, it's also good to evaluate if you can repurpose your goods and services. A lot of our customers are cutting back right now. We're seeing a lot of investments being pulled. However, there is an opportunity for you to partner with other industries to come up with new solutions for remaining in business. Business dissolution should not be an option. This is the time of ingenuity and creativity to create new methods of servicing different markets. Also, there are untapped markets that don't have access to certain goods and services that you may be able to provide those goods and services to at a discounted price for goods that may be deemed outdated. For example, for the automotive industry, if there's a fleet of cars currently delayed for delivery, can that fleet of cars be repurposed, right? Can you do different rideshare ventures? Can you repurpose the metal? Can you do scrap metal? Can you reassemble a car for a future model? These things should be evaluated, and this goes for all industries. There is a way to repurpose and remodel your business in a way that is lucrative for your team. The trade wars will not last forever. We're seeing India, we're seeing Argentina, they're coming up with solutions on how to progress without the high taxes of tariffs. So, in this moment, it's good to exercise how you can maximize your profit nationally. While the trade wars settle, you'll be able to work with your neighbors for new partnerships. That way, you can still service the customers and establish new markets because there's always a rural area not being touched or a foreign market that you can reach if you exercise your resources carefully. This is also a great time to put yourself in a position to expand once trade wars settle. As you start to evaluate what you can remodel and restructure in your organization to continue to move forward, that can be repurposed for your expansion efforts. Start to get an idea of where you would like to move your production if the trade wars settle in your favor. Decide what alternatives you have for your current inventory. Can you couple a few products for a bundle? Can you partner with another corporation to partner your products together for a different bundle? Can you donate your goods and services for the better of the community? What always should be evaluated is the cost associated with those quick and harsh decisions. Right now, we're seeing everybody resort to what is normal when we have times of uncertainty. However, we don't see a lot of firms restructuring, which should be done instead of automatically reducing, because with the uncertainty of the trade wars, we may need that labor force later on. So natural attrition will be the remedy to any overages, and it'll be a lot more affordable. As we speak about exploring your alternatives, restructuring job duties may be necessary as well. How the customer was serviced in a different economical climate is different from what we're seeing today. I can provide a personalized solution for you and your company to move forward locally, nationally, or internationally. These personalized solutions help you to pivot. I offer multiple tools to help you with this matter. Scan the QR code to visit our website, and I've also shared that information below. I look forward to connecting with you. Once again, we are here to help you expand perfectly.